All right, what up, guys? Welcome back to another Open Major qualifying video. We are on the road. Hopefully, we can get up there. But another announcement: we're almost about to hit 3,000 subscribers, so I will be doing a Q&A for that. So if you guys want to drop any questions for me down in the comments below, I'll just compile them all from all the previous videos and any new comments that you have, and then turn that into a nice Q&A video for everyone, so you can learn a little bit more about me, Diono. But yeah. Let's just hop into the Open Major qualifying stuff here, and here we go. All right, first game here against MultipliersHater, parentheses retired, 1896. I'm on a 9-game win streak somehow. Don't know how. I was playing a lot of like way lower ELO people because a lot of high ELO people are not queuing right now, probably with the Open Major stuff going on. So I've been getting a lot of 1600, 1700, so I haven't really been like getting as much ELO gains, even though I am on a quite a significant ELO up win streak, I'd say. But yeah, wasn't sure on this one, but we had a white line, so I figured why not go Spain? We have sun south, and didn't really feel like anything else. Felt like a very dry and deserty climate. Ended up being southwest. He ends up being closer in Portugal, but it happens. All right, South Africa here, Limpopo style pull. Not always going to be found in Limpopo, but can be found like in Joburg and surrounding areas as well. And yeah, it ends up being a bit more west there, not in Limpopo, but totally fine. We only do 513 damage. Well, they do 513 damage to us, and we hop into round 3. In wooden pole here, very, very narrow road with hedgerows on both sides automatically make me think either northern France or UK or Ireland. This one looked most like UK to me. And we move into round 4 here. Not too much damage done. Hopping around 4. In sunflowers plus this kind of like speckled pavement. Really reminds me of Bulgaria here. And kind of just going to send that one in. Yeah, it ends up being a bit more east. So we break the flawless on round 4. We do 124 damage there. We hop into round 5, 1.5x damage now. In Russia, it looks like early spring to me. So I don't know. Maybe I shouldn't be going like I thought Kazan was like an okay hedge, but maybe I should just be hedging like Ulyanovsk or something. Ends up being Western Saransk. And we get 114 damage down. As we hop into round 6, double damage. In South Africa, remind me a lot of the stuff that you get around Mathatha. Didn't really feel too much like that Durban area, although it can get treeless like that. I think it's a bit more common like south of Lesotho, like in the Mathatha area, and like a little bit more west. Ends up being a little bit more west, but we were kind of hedging in general. So we move into round 7 when we get another South Africa here driving left, yellow outer lines, very flat road. Just thought near Joburg was the play. So I click a little bit out of Joburg. It ends up being west. They make a nice guess there. And we lose 580 points of damage. And yeah, we're pretty even on health moving into round 8. Triple damage now in Norway. A lot of trees on these small like rocky islands make me think like super far south. So like I kind of hedge a bit more for south. Ends up being close to Christiansand there. And we pick up a big chunk of points for that, so not too bad of a situation. Norway region guessing can come in handy sometimes, especially recognizing northern stuff from southern stuff. This one was a bit weird. Lot of pines though, with a pretty wide dirt road, so I am thinking somewhere in the Americas, either US or Canada, and I think BC fit a bit more because the trees felt a bit more northern to me. Yeah, ends up being southwest of Kelowna there on that white road. Pretty tough, but we do pick up 665. Could have won there if we had just clicked like Kamloops or something, but I don't know. It was a bit tough to region guess. All right, we get Cambodia here. I'm trying to go for the win, I think, on 4x damage. We only need to do about 260 points or so worth of damage. 255 points or so worth of damage, but yeah, it ends up being up there. If we had gotten that, we would have won. But a little bit of a tough one there. So we both go for southwest of Phnom Penh with the palms and such. All right, this round we have rumble strips in the middle, which is like way more common in the US. Although although we do have a single yellow line. The trees also felt a bit more south to me, so I'm kind of hedging like Nebraska, Kansas, Iowa here. Yeah, and it just ends up being one of the plain states, Kansas on the Oklahoma border. Certainly makes a lot of sense. The rumble strips fit a bit more for there, I'd say, probably. All right, we hop into game 2 here against Salex, 1847. They are a bit underrated, at least in my opinion. Round 1. We hop into a very interesting looking Thailand here, driving left. We have that square pole with the holes going down the sides. Pretty red soil you can see creeping into both sides of the road here. So I just end up going for a Eastern Thailand guess. Because red soil is like much more common there and like Kanchanaburi, like west of Bangkok. I think that's the state name. Yeah, ends up being pretty close. 82 points of damage there for us. And we can hop into round 2 here pretty freely against Salex. Yeah. I mean, this is just Diono in Indonesia. It happens. Peeps. I was trying to read what that said. It says Dianggin or something on there. So I was looking for that on Sumatra because, I don't know, to me it felt most like Sumatra. We have some Sumatra-style palms, I think, in the back there. But, yeah, it just ends up being Kalimantan, which is tough. Yeah, it makes more sense with the pole, I think, with the single sport and the metal pole. So a lot more common on Kalimantan. This one, yeah, we don't have boxcar here, but we do have Hindi, I think. So I just click Madhya Pradesh. I think it's quite reasonable as a hedge. Don't know how to region guess this one really, but Salex ends up pulling out an insane 5K guess. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know if it was a repeat or if they just like were hedging for stuff, but like that is kind of crazy, to be honest. To get that close in India with no info is quite impressive. And we get a Cambodia here, pretty standard Cambodian People's Party thing on the right there. To me, it didn't feel like near Phnom Penh. Felt like maybe around the lake somewhere, Tonle Sap. So it ends up being north of Krong Siem Reap. And yeah, we pick up our first points in the duel, I think. Maybe. Oh no, we did do like 6 damage on round 1. All right, Sun North here. These kind of like eucalyptus style trees on this dirt road definitely feel very Chilean, especially with the darker soil. I don't think this could ever be Australia. And with Sun North, it kind of limits your options as to what it could be. So yeah, I end up clicking around Los Angeles, I think. It ends up being south of Temuco there. And they're slightly closer. Usually when the timer runs out like that, I'm like kind of hopeful because maybe they just don't know the country because they're like thinking about it until the last moment and all that. All right, we do have a cabbage here. I see some big mountains to the west, and I'm like, okay, this kind of fits. But I think I'm going to hedge it slightly because it is 2x damage. So I don't like fully commit. Maybe I should like arguably be fully committing here. But yeah, it's just Tokaido with big mountains, very northern looking trees, and the cabbage. And yeah, I probably should have fully committed, but I mean, it's the difference in like, I don't know, like 50 damage or something. So it's fine. We hop in around 7, 2.5 now. In very interesting looking Malaysia. It didn't feel like mainland to me. Gen 3 as well. And the poles don't have a sticker on them. So I was like, okay, oil palm plantations are most common, like Lahad Datu area over here in Sabah, especially on Borneo. So I thought I would just try that. Thought my guess was pretty reasonable. I don't think we have a distinct pole for either thing, but it actually ends up being like west of Kuching there, which is, I don't know, a little weird, but I mean, makes sense at the end of the day. We happen around 8 triple damage in Turkey here. I noticed we have a ball water tank on the like very square looking building there, which is quite common like as you get close to Syria. I think Gaziantep is a bit troll of a click here for me. I don't love my guess here because I think the mountains are a bit too big. It looks like we're kind of in the mountains as well. So yeah, you can see me scanning near Baspinar there. But yeah, I just eventually settle on Gaziantep. But realistically, yeah, you can see me zoom in like Batman or like even Tatvan there. Because I'm a bit concerned about hillier parts. And yeah, it ends up being like southeast of Batman there. So a little tough, but it happens. We're somehow alive though. 63 HP. And we hop in around 9, 3.5x damage now. In a little bit of Australia, I guess I probably should be figuring out that this is a main road. I mean, very red pavement here. Yeah, I should just be lining up the angle because it's going pretty southeast. I go for the Forest Creek road. No, I think I go for like that road angle there. I don't know. Like I should just be going for the road that's going overwhelmingly southeast, which is that road there. Pretty findable, honestly. Like I should be getting that, I think, but at least we know for next time. Southeast, very pink road. But we lose 19 rating for that, so we're down to 1896. So I think we're down 3 ELO since the start of the video. But we get wafflyss here, who's at 1896 as well, same ELO. So opportunity for some ELO here. Round 1 in Nigeria. We have the green tint to that plate there, and yeah, just this terrible camera quality. And I end up clicking near Osogbo. It ends up being Benin City. I mean, the soil was kind of red, so it does make sense to be like Benin City, Onitsha area. But not that much points, especially in Nigeria on no multis. Round 2, we have a blue sticker on the pole on the left here, so we know we're in France. White buildings, so thinking Brittany area or like just west of Paris in general. It ends up being west of Paris, but like closer to Paris than I thought it would be. Which certainly makes sense, but we move into round 3 now. In what I think is Paris once again, we do have like a slight white border on that sign, which fits for Paris, and probably rappel on there. And the architecture to me looks quite French with this white building and such. So I go for the click as to where it was last time, and then that time it ends up being Brittany, so tough. That's France. Round 4. We pick up some points there, though, so not the worst result. We hop into a little bit of Chile here. 2023 copyright. I usually don't go Copiapo because it's a bad at GeoGuessr meta, is what I was going to say, like a bag meta. He says 2024 more common in Copiapo, and I tend to trust him on that because he is one of the best players in the world. Ends up being east of Calama there. I was trying to look for the ridge. Like, dude, it's so hard to see topography now on this map. You can't see tunnels. You can't see a lot of the white roads either. Like, it's not fantastic. All right, this round, yeah, kind of trolled. I associate the white painted bottoms, like, obviously with southern Russia and Ukraine. I thought this one looked more like Ukraine, but I guess the road, it was a bit too good. But yeah, it did look southern in general. Ends up being Krasnodar there. I end up being closer, doing 314 damage, so we both send each other a smiley there. Happens. Round 6, double damage. In Japan, we have double horizontal plate, I think. And I forget which Japanese prefectures use that. I know it's like Toyama, Gifu, or like Nagano area. I'm not even sure if Nagano uses it, but yeah, it actually ends up being on the peninsula there. In, what is that, Gifu, I think? Or Ishikawa, actually. That makes sense. And we hop in around 7, 2.5x damage. In a very odd Mexico location, we have white brick. It looks quite tropical, but the soil is just not white enough for me for it to be like Yucatan Peninsula somewhere. So I end up going for the Tabasco click. I think it is quite reasonable. And I think the striped car, if I'm not mistaken, is like pretty common around this entire area, like Tabasco especially now. But yeah, feel free to fact check me on that one, of course. So I send Tabasco, kind of hedging for Yucatan in a little way. And yeah, they're pretty close to the location there, near 5k. Wafflyss there, so it's a very nice guess. And we can hop in around 8, triple damage. I mean, I see very, very red soil there, especially on the left there near whatever that is, some kind of lake. So yeah, I think OKC is the slam. Very red soil is like such a free Oklahoma City slam in most cases. It's flat like that, and the topography fits. All right, round 9, 3.5x damage in a pretty red road, honestly. Like, even though it's not a paved road, like, my rule in Gen 3, especially in Gen 3 Sweden, like, with the red road, like, I should just be going to Larna County here. But I kind of just wanted to hedge, because I didn't want to lose a chunk of points if this somehow ends up being, like, a little bit more south, near John Shopping. But, yeah, it ends up being Larna County. So we lose 354 points there, and we hop in around 10 quad damage. In a wide line state, felt Appalachia to me with the houses. Didn't feel like more Ozarks to me, which like Arkansas will have wide lines sometimes too. But I know like North Carolina will. So you can see me making like a general hedge for like all of Appalachia. West Virginia would usually have thicker lines there, I think. But yeah, it ends up being North Carolina. We're pretty close. But wafflyss makes a good guess as well, and we hop in around 11 now, 4.5x damage. In an interesting round, to me, the pavement felt most Austrian or Slovenian, especially with like this like slight shoulder to it. I don't know. I totally understand why they made their guess. Yeah, I go Slovenia-Austria border here. I think the trees fit like a lot of pines, so like maybe we're somewhat high altitude. And yeah, they end up going Oregon, which makes a lot of sense, quite honestly. Because also couldn't really tell if that was the front or the back of the car, but I kind of just assumed it was the back of the car. Yeah, we get Seoul here next, 1665. So yeah, we are getting matched with lower rated players. This one gave me a little bit of thought because we do have a wood pole there, and what look like Greek bollards underneath the pole, although it is very hard to see. I considered Baja for a second, just because like of the wood poles and the landscape. But I feel like this white rock would be a little bit weird for Baja, I think. It just kind of has that Mediterranean white rock feel to it, although it is very dry. I don't know. I don't think I should be setting Crete here, though. Because I don't really know if the South Coast would look like this, personally. But yeah, I couldn't really think of anything better than Greece here, especially with ocean to our east. And yeah, it ends up being one of the Greek islands. They go Baja, I think, which, yeah, was my other consideration. But I think the Greek bollards, like, very much so helped me there. We'll hop in around 2. In Mexico this time. So we have Alto on the stop sign. And this one, I don't know, feels a bit weird. Maybe the street signs are unique to this place, but yeah, it definitely felt like North Coast to me. With these boxy houses, coconut palms and stuff. The architecture felt more north, colorful houses. And yeah, I mean, maybe I should be getting Matamoros there. It was quite tropical, so I thought hedging Veracruz there was quite reasonable, but it happens. We move in around 3. In Chile here. Yeah, 2-lane highway here, so it probably will show up as divided highway on the map. I go into Santiago first, and then I look at it again. I'm like, could this be Ovalle? I think Ovalle could make some sense. Yeah, I mean, I just see a divided road there going north-south. I just slam it. I didn't really check anything else, but yeah, it just ends up being closer to Santiago, so tough, and we're on a curve. I mean, you give me like 5 minutes, maybe I find that, but a little tough. Round 4 in Oman. We're driving through like smaller mountains here, which I don't know. Obviously felt like North Mountains to me, but I was looking for a road that kind of lined up. Like, that's on a curve, though. I don't love that. And I think the mountains might be too big where I've sent. Just looking for things going through mountains. But I think I'm actually, like, maybe trolling a little bit. Like, I mean, that looks okay. That's why I send it, but I think the mountains on the map there would be a lot bigger. Yeah, and it ends up being southeast of Ibra there. I don't even know if you can hardly see the mountains that are on the map there. So I don't know. Like, the mapping is tough to scan sometimes. All right, round 5, 1.5x damage. We have 2021 copyright, I think. But it didn't feel like Russia to me, especially with like this uniform looking road. I couldn't really place this in Russia. We have a lot of pines. So I thought Sweden was quite reasonable, honestly. Yeah, I just end up hedging Sweden here. Didn't seem hilly enough for it to be Norway. And didn't seem too far north as well, because the trees look quite healthy, quite tall. And they get a little bit shorter as you go further up. But yeah, not always, I guess. But yeah, we get the win there. Glad we were able to close that one out. But we gained 6 rating. And we hop into another game here, I think. Oh, wait. I think I'm messaging Soul about it or something. Why did I not cut this out? Okay, whatever. I mean, I hit play again. It's fine. We get Soul. Hey, it happens, guys. Sorry. Round 1. In France, it looks like we have low signs. Some kind of vineyard there, but it looks like, I don't know, not wine season. But yeah, I'm just going to click Bordeaux with the wine, or with the vineyard. Quite reasonable for France. Yeah, it ends up being southeast of Bordeaux there. Quite happy with getting that. Happens round 2 in the Philippines here. Yeah, I mean, just the Philippines. Like, I don't know how to commentate over this to region guess. Like, I thought it looked like either Naga Peninsula or like Samar or Leyte, so I hedged for both. And yeah, it ends up being Samar Island. But we do 93 damage there. We'll take it. We'll hop into round 3. In maximum on the sign there, double yellow line. So I automatically thought Quebec, I think, made the most sense with these houses. But yeah, it ends up being double yellow line Nova Scotia, so I might have trolled it a little bit there. But it happens. I mean, Nova Scotia, like, pretty much predominantly it uses double yellow lines. But, I mean, Quebec uses double yellow lines as well, so it was a bit tough for me there. Yeah, this one, I mean, I thought there was a mountain to the north there. I guess in hindsight, the mountain angle is weird. If there is a mountain there, it's just not a mountain. It was just clouds. Ends up being Bombal there, but we end up closer because we click Tucumán and I think they click Salta. I think they probably also imagined a mountain there. But we hop in round 5 in Thailand here. You know what? I actually didn't look at the ridges on the insulator here because I think it is like 6 or 7, which would indicate Peninsula or like Chiang Mai. So yeah, Chumphon here is actually a criminal guess for me because I think it starts in Surat Thani. Like the longer insulators. I think that's where on the peninsula it starts. So yeah, low-key bannable guess for me, but it happens. Round 6, all white lines. Kind of a similar Atacama Desert looking field. This one is 2024 copyright, so we're going back to what I talked about earlier. So with 2024 copyright, I will slam Copiapo here. Unless it's like the Volcanoes Park, like the Los Flamencos Reserve, which is like, yeah, there, where I zoom in here. But yeah, I didn't think the mountains looked too volcanic, so yeah, Copiapo makes a lot of sense, and we end up picking up a lot of points on that. It's a very, very... It's pretty reliable, honestly. Like, I would say it works 95% of the time with 2024 versus 2023. If it's 2024, then Copiapo is always a good click, especially when it looks deserty like that. Quite Atacama looking. All right, this one was a weird round, man. It's very, very, very dry. We do still have some trees. Like, we have some interesting looking pines here as well. So I was thinking, okay, we can't be too far south probably with those pines, because I don't think those pines would grow there. So my other thought was Cordoba here, because we are looking west. We don't see a mountain, which we would probably see in both San Miguel de Tucumán and Salta. So I think Cordoba was probably the best option, just because you will get some areas where, you know, maybe you're on the other side of the ridge, the big ridge that's in Cordoba, like west of Cordoba. But yeah, it ends up being in Cordoba, like south of Cordoba. Yeah, that's going to be enough damage. So we do win. We pick up another 6 rating. So we're up to 1924. Still a chance here. All right. Well, thank you guys for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Drop any comments down below for my 3K sub Q&A. And yeah, I'll see you guys tomorrow for another GeoGuessr video. Peace.